Percents are things that we face and see every single day when you're looking for things that are on sale, building and developing what you're going to tip, looking at investing in the future. You may occasionally hear my dog in the background. That's him whining. Please ignore. But percents are nothing more than fractions, which means we're going to be looking at doing a lot of multiplying. So for something like this, for first-time car buyers, maybe if a dealer says that he's offering 8% cash back on a $32,000 car, how much is that and how much are you actually paying? All right, so 8% cash back means you're going to get 8%. So as we're thinking of verbal models again, 8% of 32,000. All right, and of we know means multiply. But right now I have one of these numbers, the 32,000 is a number, and the other one's a percent. So I have to remember what percent means. Percent means out of 100. So this is 8 out of 100. But we usually don't write it that way when we're doing it in our calculators. Instead, we're going to be writing 8% as 0.08 because 8%, we have this. We're going to move the decimal place 2 over. 0.08. So 0.08 of 32,000 will give me my answer. Now, another way to think about this is this. 1% is a number you can find very easily. If I have $32,000 and I want to take 1% of that, 1% is 1 out of 100, and 100 is 2 decimal places, so I go 1, 2, and it's $320. That's 1%. If I want 8 of those for 8%, can do a quick little multiplying there and find out that I'm actually going to be receiving $2,560 back. So I take this away from the cost of the car, and that's how much you are actually paying. All right, moving on. Stocks are showing a 6.3% gain on a year. If you invested $250 initially, how much after 1 year? So if it's gaining 6.3%, that means it's growing. And you can look at it, there's a couple of ways about going a problem like this. The slow and methodical way is say, well, if I take $250 and I take 6.3% of that, 0.063, again, looking up here at my original percent, move it over and change it to a decimal, so I move it 2 decimal places. 6.3% is 0.063, and I multiply those two, I get $15.75. And then to find out how much I have at the end of the year, I would have the $250 plus the $15.75, so I'd have $265.75 after 1 year of investment. Another way to do this problem that would be slightly faster is to say, well, if I have $250 and then I'm adding 250 times 0.063, what I'm going to do now is kind of jump ahead to some things that we're going to learn later, but you learned probably in the past, is both of these have something in common. They both have a 250. So if I do 250 and factor that out, so reverse distributive property, I'll have 1 plus 0.063, which is going to be 250 times 1.063. Because I care about the original investment amount plus the 6.3%. That's one way of doing it. Now, if that was too confusing, then by all means, stick with this process because the process is the same. It will get you to the same answer. It just might take a little bit longer, but really not in a hurry at this point. So that's how much we have after 1 year. Now, what if it continues to grow for another year? Well, then I could take my 265 multiply that by 1.063 again. After 2 years, I would have $282.49 and some like partial cents after that because it's going to, there's 225 after that. So there's actually more decimals going on, but you only get paid to the nearest cent. Moving forward with percents. Kohl's coupons for 20% off. You carry that into the store and you're going to a shirt. Shirt's listed as $49 and is marked down 25%. How much are you actually going to be paying? Well, we start with the original shirt, which was $49, and it's 25% off. So 2 ways of going at this. If I do 25, I could take 25% of this and then subtract it, 25% of it, or if it's 25% off, then it only costs 75%. So I want to find 75% of 49. So that will be 0.75. Again, did the decimals, 1, 2, boop, right there. 75% of $49. It gives me $36.75. That's what the cost will be, but then I have a 20% off. So I could do the 25% off, or think I now am only going to be paying 80% of the $36.75. 0.8 times 36.75 means my out the door cost is $29.40 for a $49 shirt. A mistake a lot of people will make is they'll say, well, if it's 25% off and 20% off, so then I'm actually getting it for, and they think, again, this is wrong, but they think that they would be getting it for 45% off, which is not true. Couple more here to go quick. 5 is what percent of 40? 5 divided by 40, x equals 0.125. Again, because what I did is I did divided by 40 for reducing those fractions. So that means x is, as a percent, 12.5%. Now I have decimals, I got to change it back to a percent, so I move 2 decimal places over. That's how I'm doing that one. 10% of, so 12.10 of 123 will be 12.3. Lastly, if I want to do bills, you're going out to dinner, you want to tip your waitress, always tip your waitress or waiter, all right? This is not hard to do. Actually, the best way to consider it is to say, okay, 10% is, again, just like it was in the last slide, it's just moving the decimal place over 1 spot. So 3.85 is 10%. 20% would then be doubling that, $7.70. Because again, 20% is twice of 10, so I take this number and double it. Then you could do 15% either with a calculator, or you could take half of 385, add them together to get your 15% here in the middle. I'll leave that up to you. We've covered enough for today. Best of luck, and don't forget, tip your waitress.